Hello everyone, this is David from Automotive Press. Guess what? I am doing a comparison of the new 2022 Lexus LX to the older Lexus LX 570, which still has the 5.7 liter V8 engine. I'm actually considering buying this one, which is why I'm taking it for a drive. And it's going to be really interesting to see whether or not there is a big difference in terms of driving feel and the character between the new LX 600 to the LX 570. Let's go for a drive and figure out. Welcome back. So right off the bat, the Lexus LX 570, which has the 5.7 liter V8 engine, and also this version still uses a hydraulic steering, feels very different than the LX 600. The LX 570 has more of the traditional classic Lexus SUV feel, and especially because of the fact that it has a hydraulic steering versus electric power steering, and the new one, the handling and the steering feel is very different. It's a lot more traditional and classic in terms of kind of Land Cruiser feel. You get more road feel. You get a lot more feedback from the road, and the steering is quite a bit heavier. So if you're asking me which one do I prefer in terms of just a general driving feel, this one definitely feels a little bit more rugged and also a little bit more connected to the road. And at the same time, the V8 engine is just a beautiful, beautiful engine. Very smooth, very refined, very quiet. And you know what? There's no replacement for displacement. The new 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 on the new LX 600 is faster and also more responsive because it's turbocharged engine. And around corners, the LX 600 actually is a little bit more responsive, more flat and more agile. But I do prefer the feel of the LX 570, especially the steering feel because of the hydraulic steering, which is very difficult to replicate with the electric power steering in the new model. In terms of ride, it feels about the same. I think it's actually a little bit softer and more comfortable on the LX 570 than the LX 600. Because the one I'm driving has 22-inch wheels and tires, so it's pretty bumpy, even though it's very smooth and refined. In terms of quietness, also about the same. Maybe the new one is a little bit quieter, but the biggest change, of course, is the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 compared to 5.7 liter V8. And there's no question that the V8 feels more refined, smoother, even though maybe it doesn't accelerate as fast as the 3.4 twin turbo V6 because that one has more torque, and the peak torque also happens earlier in the RPM range. So that one does feel a little bit peppier. So as a conclusion, what do I think in terms of comparing the Lexus LX 600, which is all new for 2022, to this one, which is the previous generation Lexus LX, which is called LX 570, which has the 5.7 liter V8 engine. Well, there's no question that in terms of the engine feel, the engine character, and the way that it communicates with you, the V8 engine is more natural feeling, it's more organic. I think it's a beautiful feel and sound. And overall, I really have to say that I miss having a V8 engine such as this one, which is an amazing V8 engine. I think if you're not concerned about fuel efficiency and you don't need to get a lot of power and torque right off the bat from low speed, the 5.7 liter V8 engine does feel better, and I think it's better matched to the character of this Lexus LX, which is a big SUV that's still using body on the frame design. The steering is heavier, it has a little bit more feedback, it feels more natural. I can feel the road and I can tell what's going on underneath the car. I think overall the steering has a lot more character and a lot more feel than LX 600, which has become quite numb in terms of steering feel. It's very light. It doesn't have much of a feedback from the road, mainly because it's electric power steering, and it's just very difficult to replicate the feel of a hydraulic power steering, which is the case with this model. So the engine and the steering feel are the two biggest differences between the two models in terms of driving character. No question that the new LX 600 is faster, it's more fuel efficient, it's loaded with new technology, has a lot more features, and just better design in terms of the interior packaging. And also the seating is a lot better, and it has a lot more luxury features and upscale stuff than this one here. So for most buyers, they would probably prefer the LX600 just because it's a lot more up to date. But for someone like me who really loves engineering and mechanical things, I have to admit this older version of the Lexus LX in the form of LX570, it's a beautiful, amazing piece of art that is surely going to be missed as Toyota and Lexus move away from V8 engine and continue to downsize their engine to twin turbo V6 or even a turbocharged 4-cylinder. So those are some of the changes that are happening, and there's not much we can do because they need to reduce emission and they need to improve fuel efficiency. So if you're asking me which one do I prefer in terms of owning it, I'm gonna have to say I still prefer the 5.7 liter V8 LX570. So should I buy this one maybe over the LX600, because I do have a deposit on the LX600, but that one has like a 2 or 3 year waiting list. This one seems like a bargain in comparison because this one is obviously used, but it's in great shape and with low mileage. Well, you know what? I'm beginning to think whether I should get this one. Anyway, what's your thoughts on this one? Let me know what you think, and let me know whether or not you guys also miss the V8 engine as Lexus and Toyota begin to move away from a large engine displacement to a smaller twin turbo V6 and eventually even turbocharged 4-cylinder for cars like the Toyota 4Runner. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Until next video, I'm signing off for now.